fact that, you know, Smite mid lane is now becoming a thing, also as response as well into a lot of the talent mid lane we've seen.
But we're on 8.14 now, so Smite mid lane is not going to be seen nearly as much, as well as AD carry seeing a lot more in that bottom lane. So a little changes here and there, you know, of course. Aatrox still very strong, though he has seen some, let's just call them changes on this patch as well. So expect to continue to see him banned. But thank you, Sheer, for that information. If we do see a Smite mid lane, I will be surprised, but in a pleasant way.
That's true. And again, the LPL is always a little bit different. Sometimes we're ahead or even behind in patches, so we're always a different world from the rest of the international leagues. What's your take on the new patch, Rusty? Because it feels like we are phasing out, you know, the gold funneling. We're seeing way less of it nowadays. We're seeing people generally go back to just traditional in the bottom lane.
I have one take. Actually, no, I have two. I have two takes.
All right, what's the second
Because I realized as I was thinking. My second one is that we still haven't nerfed Zoe enough.
Okay.
And that she should just be, like, in the ground.
All right. What's the first one?
My first one, I forgot it. Because you made me go second first. It's gone.
I just felt you were more passionate about the second one.
Yeah, no, my first one is that Fizz should not continue to get buffed.
Yeah.
Because that champion...
Did you see those ratios increases, by the way? It's disgusting.
I know.
I was watching Raz play that one recently before the buffs, and I was like, that's disgusting. And now it's just absurd.
The reason that I'm really upset with Zoe again, it's cyclical, you know? I'll play her and be like, this is fun, I hope it never gets nerfed, and then I'll lose to one and just not enjoy my life. The reason that I don't like it right now is that I played against a support Zoe yesterday, and she got a heal and a redemption in the first 2 waves as spells. And that just, whoa.
Yeah, I mean, why does that happen? You know,
why even play the rest of the game? You know, it's
feels
over.
Like, yeah, at a certain point, you just shouldn't be able to get redemption before like 5 minutes or something. You know what I mean? Because you know, redemption has a flat amount of damage it does against minions.
It's not designed for you to get it 3 minutes.
Yeah, but it means you can one-shot the wave, you ding level 2 or 3, and just all in your opponent. Like, why is that a thing?
Don't know.
It's RNG as well. You know.
I really don't know.
Yeah.
That's why I want it to be gone. That's why I want Fizz to stay away as well, because that man's troll pole is infuriating. I've been playing a lot of mid lately. There's your answers.
Yeah, I mean, you are historically a mid player and a support player, right?
Yep, I played both roles.
Yeah.
And I played with Papa Smithy. I was the mid laner during that time. And I played with Papa Smithy, and let's say it was semi-pro. Semi-pro.
Were you good? Within the semi-pro
we were a top 3 team in the region, but we weren't really pro because it was more like a side thing.
Gotcha.
Yeah. Still studied and worked.
Fair enough. I mean, the fact that in this current meta you are seeing still a lot of Kled is pretty cool because it empowers players like 957 in the top side. Also means that like on the side of BLG they will continue to play tanks up there as well because they can... Mundo basically gets a free pass in a lot of lanes. As long as there is some jungle pressure, he's just good. He just gets to mid game and late game, and even if he falls behind, it's Mundo.
Yeah,
so he just pops his ult and that's good.
I don't play top lane, but as a viewer of the top lane, actually I think this is an amazing meta for that role. It's one of the most diverse that we have seen from it. You're not looking at 3 champions maximum the entire time, and a meta based off either who can be a tank or who can be a specific champion and then what counters that. It feels much more like there is diversity up there, and barring the obvious Aatrox and the secondary Darius, but even then Darius is still being picked and countered.
Yeah, for sure. And at the same time, it's a sad day for all the Urgot and Alawi mains because there is so much diversity in the top side. It means it's not just tanks at the top.
If people play range into you, so you lose.
Yeah, pretty much. BLG, looking towards them, it will be Tamkench banned away alongside LeBlanc and Trundle. The first pick of Rakan, I like it a lot. It's a denial from 694, who was a monster on that pick last game, and also a pick over to Rose at the same time. He was getting the short end of the stick in terms of bans for certain. WE will take away the Talia, Camille, and of course Aatrox. At a certain point, we should probably just stop mentioning the fact that Aatrox is banned because he's always banned, and it will be a first pick of the Kindred.
Yeah, Red Side only really gets 2 bans. Aatrox is the mandatory, of course. Now, Road getting Rakan is a massive enabling tool for BLG, and that is what I am excited to see. Because last game, I feel like they were not being proactive enough, and I feel like they weren't really taking opportunities or shots if they ever had them in the first place, you know, and namely, of course, being level 6 on Chieftain and Mole with the Nocturne. We didn't even see a Paranoia from him. Like, I'm not even sure that we saw one in the game. I can't remember
it. Yeah.
So I think this is already a positive shift, and you can see with the follow-up of BLG's draft here that they are picking for the combos, they are picking for comfort, and they are going to be much more aggressive.
I would love one of these picks, but it's probably not going to happen. On the opposite side, we do see the Sejuani come into the jungle once again for BLG. Seemed like BLG tried to swap it up for the first time in a while. We've only really been seeing Skarner Sejuani from Chieftain. He brings out the Nocturne, doesn't work. Plus, there's a Kindred in this game. It's like, okay, back to Sejuani, and it will be alongside a Yasuo for Mole.
Now the concern here for BLG is what they're going to be playing in the bottom lane as an AD, and I have a feeling that WE, they don't even need to look towards it in bans, they can just try and prioritize 957. Where you've got a Morgana and a Varus secured and you're against a Rakan. Rakan is such a fragile champion. If the poke connects on you, you just lose the lane for the most part. So now whatever AD carry goes with it, you can choose between something that could be lane dominant, you know, try and push them down. And I mean, that's less likely, but something like an Ezreal then is usually a follow-up option. And then that doesn't have kill threat. So the bottom lane of WE to me already has priority. The jungler is going to be a Kindred into Sejuani, so there's no strict priority advantage there. It's just different styles. But mid lane having a Yasuo and already been seen, WE's game plan could be very easy to change and chop as they choose around Xie's diversity.
But now though, I do like the bans. It will be a ban towards Amazing J in the form of the Darius and also a Xayah ban in the bottom lane. So no Lovers duo today for them. Not going to make it too easy. And Cho'Gath will be the ban towards WE. So of course aimed at the mid lane and top lane. Wherever, to be honest. I mean, I saw a bot lane marksman Cho'Gath full AP the other day by RNG. So I don't even know anyone with that pick. Kled will be the final ban. I like it a lot towards WE. Definitely take 957 off that one.
Yeah, it means the Mundo and the Ornn are still open, however, so is the Gangplank. And if BLG with a tank jungler were considering a carry in top lane, now would be the time to do so. In saying that, they've got the opportunities for things like a Poppy, because that's just Amazing J.
Yeah. I'm also just thinking about the carries that Amazing J plays in the top lane. I mean, that is definitely one of them, the Gangplank. He was definitely the first person to start with the Kleptomancy and the Sapphire Crystal start, then got bodied the same game, but
he's also got
continues to
Camille.
do so. Camille, yeah, that's a big one, yeah, for sure.
You know, provide some form of knockup that Yasuo could follow through with.
He plays it in less of a carry way than a setup way, you know what I mean? Like, it's typically picked up with, like, more picking like a Gano or having something to chain on top of the Camille. Very rarely goes for a split push. Jin will be the pick for Jin Zhao. Actually, is this the first time we've seen Jin go back to his namesake? I think he's picked it once before this split.
This should be the second time he has picked up the champion. Jin is starting to be seen more and more as well. And no surprises really from the draft of BLG. I really like their draft in this game comparatively to the last. Depending on what WE go towards in their mid lane and by locking in the Rise, I actually think that BLG have set themselves up into a relatively cozy position through their top side of the map.
Yeah, it feels pretty good. I mean, the Gangplank should be able to farm with no issues. Kindred, if she's able to get a gank, great, but it really looks like you're waiting for the Rise to look for a rotate up there. Meanwhile, you've got a Sejuani to challenge the 2 versus 2. Mid lane's going to be the Yasuo. And in the bottom lane, you've got Jin Zhao with his namesake Jin. So BLG definitely feels like a comfortable comp for them.
And speaking towards this mid lane as well, the choice of Rise is not necessarily for winning the lane. Mole has gone towards the cleanse, so he wants to continue to try and have some priority in lane. Whereas the Rise has gone for teleport. And he is against the Sejuani without a cleanse. So that Rise does run the risk of being caught out of position, particularly from level 6 onwards. But wants to get the mana crystal, wants to clear the wave as best he can, as soon as he possibly can with the teleport to get back in. And just needs to keep Mole down by clearing the wave. So for WE, their top side of the map's going to be focusing on farming and keeping tabs on their opponents, where I feel like BLG, they want to clear the wave, they want to use resourceless champions or tanky champions to be unlocked and start to push forwards on their opponents and make those plays. Top's just going to be an island, to be fair. I'm more referencing the mid-jungle duo.
Yeah. And of course, you wouldn't want it to be anyone else as well. They are very much a duo, as you mentioned in that last game. But it seems like what you're saying to me, Rusty, on the forecast is that at least the very start of the game should be somewhat passive coming in from these teams. You want to be farming up, you want to be unlocking that as a fantastic place. Is that Mystic?
It's hard to tell, but I certainly hope it was. Mystic is like the most expressionless human being in the world alongside SMLZ. He's on your screen now.
Looks like him.
So to get him to make a face would require special effort.
Yeah, it's not quite on the tier of making SMLZ make that face, but it's up there, sure. Maybe on the level of Athena.
I think it's just too sleepy to do anything.
He woke up the other day. Guy popped off. Anyways, let's take a look at the comps one more time as we head into our second game. Remember, WE 2-9 in the win-losses versus BLG, who actually doubled their wins so far, but this could be another win today. And Xian over in the castle. Let's see if they can take it here and make this one a clean sweep. For now, though, I'm going to give it over to Xian. Yeah, I love the fact that it seems like they got a person specifically for the drumming.
You know what I like
It
about
looks like
that
he
guy?
could wrestle a bear, including drumming the drum at the same time.
He's wearing a Michael Jordan shirt.
Oh, really?
That's what I like about that guy. He's
Good bloke. Yep. I actually kind of want a third game just to hear him drum again, to be honest. Well,
it's good that we got the cameras on him.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's definitely going to happen recently. That's
okay, we're getting some
hello.
miscommunications here. I'm not sure if it's a Comet or if it's a Klepto. I have the full expectations that it is in fact a Comet Mystic, because that's what it usually is. However, the graphic on the bottom
Says Klepto.
it also says Guardian for Morgana instead of, you know what? That's last game's.
Ah, yes.
We're back. Alright, so let's just run with what is on the right of the screen. It is an Airy Morgana and it is a Comet
That makes
Varus.
way more sense.
Yeah, when you look at the 2v2 in that lane, when you run Varus now, you can go lethal tempo if you want. That is if you're going more towards the, you know, Blade of the Ruined King on... Are you okay?
Oh, what?
We're just...
Okay.
I'm lost.
All right, well, let's think about Kleptovirus.
I don't wanna.
He's got... Hang on.
He's literally got Comet. Look at the left of the screen above his portrait. There is a Comet hovering that man's body.
Yeah. But I'm not sure if he's got
Comet.
Comet.
Do this to me.
I'm not sure if he's got Comet, though. Because the graphic has told me that.
There is a
got
Comet
Klepto.
hovering that man.
I don't care, Rusty. This is what I've been told.
Getting bamboozled here.
Yeah. Anyway, in the top side, we've got Grass Union dying for Mundo. It's got Klepto for AJ.
Are we sure?
I know that one. I'm pretty sure.
Because he could have grass.
He could have grass.
It should be Klepto. There's two options for Gangplanks.
There are.
Let's actually speak towards some of the runes, shall we, instead of just wondering what they actually have. Now,
Sure.
I was going to speak towards the bottom lane before they put up a full screen saying that I was wrong. Comet Varus is usually indicative of the lethality build, which is very much a poke orientation in its style. And having that Airy there for Morgana means that the puddle actually does do a little bit of extra damage. Usually you'll have Scorch with it. And this is a very early move from WE.
Yeah, this is a dive being set up by Connie. He's level 3, places down the mark of the Jinjiao as well. About to get the third proc on top of that, and Mystic throws up the flare on that. Double kill for the Kindred.
That felt all too easy from WE. Connie just comes bottom, and Mystic and 694 had set it up earlier. They just execute on the dive. 694 hardly even necessary. And that's two very early kills. Jinjiao has teleport, but he won't feel comfortable using it. You're going to see Condi skirting around the range here. 694 was tanking the turret. Mystic only tanks one shot. That is the perfect execution from WE, allowing their carries to maximize their damage output.
And it was also perfect play by Road to maximize WE's damage output because he sat on top of Jinjiao. Yes, he was trying to shield him, but at the same time got hit by the hail of arrows, all of the auto attacks coming from Mystic, the pool even coming in from 694. Damn, every time I start that, I want to be like 697, 657, 6957.
1300, 6555.
Yeah. What do you think that spells between 957 and 694?
Oh,
because in China, pin codes are 6 digits. So is that a pin code? Like what is this?
I have no idea, dude. I thought this is just from memory that 957 was close to like his name or something on the keyboard. I forget what it was.
Yeah.
But he has a specific reason. For 694, that was his original name.
It was, and he changed to a different name and then changed back.
Yeah. He was Celestial. So now he's gone back to his original name, and I have no idea what that one means. We should ask.
Yeah. I'll figure it out. Uh-oh. He's been caught out on this one, Mystic.
Yeah, but the trade was even. Jinjiao actually walks in and just gets completely bodied by the Varus's Q. And you'll continue to see this. When you look at the itemization difference between both ADs right now, there is a 2 longsword advantage for WE. So that's going to be a lot more damage. However, the sustain is there with BLG if they're able to hit the Qs on Rakan.
Should be. Again, double assists in the bot laner's hands. Looking towards the top side, Condi aggressing once again. BLG, their top laner, out of mana. Does have flash, and he would like to save it. Yeah, I mean, that was the mark damage coming through, but it was Amazing J calculating this one on the run. I think if 957 had cleared the minions and followed up with the cleavers, it would have been Struggle Street, and he may have to have flashed there, but luckily, he will escape with his life and his summoners.
And Condi may actually be trying to get this scuttle as it spawns. There's a chance that becomes a mark whilst it's alive as well, so we'll see how they're able to play this one out. There's a chance that Condi hits the jackpot with his Marks Chieftain on the opposite side of the map, definitely not looking to contest by any means, and the Raptors are the ones that just get marked, so he'll take those away.
Condi just waiting for Mo in the mid lane to think he knows an opportunity to jump in on top of Shier's Rise, but he will play it relatively safe in the mid lane, not opening up an opportunity for Connie to gank. But already he's got double longswords and skirmishers, so he's actually a pretty strong Kindred in this early game. Pretty much both of those longswords coming off the back of those 2 kills.
Chieftain most likely going to stop that Rise recall as well. That is a no-mana Rise running around in the middle lane with teleport still up, however. He was very smart in his recalls, it seems, Shier, by being able to save that teleport and still have the tier purchase.
Yeah,
so he's actually not in a bad spot as the lane goes. Ahead and farm with a teleport in pocket is a very big win.
For sure, I mean, if he's able to wait it out until Catalyst, he's just golden, you know? But most likely it's going to be components, perhaps boots on top of that. Road jumps in on top of a black shield, and Jin Zhao is left with almost no HP.
Yeah, so the bot lane's going to continue to be this way. Mid lane scaling up, like you mentioned. You'd expect boots and a mana crystal, but we'll see what he does. Anyway, yeah, he's got a fair amount of items in his pockets. Going to be rushing his first item here with the Archangels from the looks of it. Lost Chapter, the next item of choice.
Yeah, gets all of those items. Feels pretty good for him.
Waiting for level 6, I feel like, is a big thing here for WE. Once Kindred gets the ultimate, dives are always a possibility. At least the threat of is going to be present. There's another mark.
Connie hops over and sees there's a ward, and of course AJ is not going to fall to this one, but Connie might stick around. Yeah, he's going to jump into the top side anyways. There's a mini wave in front of him, and he knows there's a big wave behind him. He's probably just going to assist to push in this wave.
This is a recall.
Allow 5-7 to recall.
So it's going to be a free recall and a saved teleport as mid lane.
Last breath, insta combo from Chieftain. Early flash coming out from Shier. He's going to be knocked down relatively easily. Nice gank coming in there.
No problems at all, and that's one of the things that will continue to happen. Mole and Chieftain working as a duo is very refreshing to see the aggression in this second game. And we mentioned the teleport on Rise from Champion Select. That's not a cleanse. So there is real no safety point for the Rise in the middle lane. Now Flash is gone, and now Chieftain has still got that ultimate. Now he crests over to 6. Just come back to mid a million more times.
Do it over and over, and let's actually see the setups that one again. I mean, it was just him with the Airblade ready to go, just follows up, and yeah, I mean, easy as you like, Chieftain walks into the mid lane.
Yeah, and Yasuo hitting auto attacks actually adds towards the stun of a Sejuani, so they're able to guarantee that kill regardless of how Shier tries to play it. You have to stand still and deliver spells to get your move speed bonus on the phase rush if you're Shier, and that's time that you'll just get stunned regardless. Yep. So he was dead from the moment the Yasuo ultimate connected.
Unfortunately, at the end, he's going to be sent back to base for a forcible recall. It's going to be Condi picking up the red buff. Hasn't really managed to accelerate his advantage that he got from the early game. I actually like the fact that BLG played passively enough for them to absorb the pressure that WE are exerting. And on top of that, managed to pick up a kill for themselves in mid lane. So BLG responding well to the situation.
Now, one thing that is to be noted is that Amazing J is farming out of his mind at the moment, just currently unimpeded through all of the CS that he's able to accrue. And a lot of this is because Condi appeared in the bottom lane. So if you're going to dive bottom very early, and it was successful, so you take those for certain, what that does do is it opens the floor to Amazing J to play the lane a bit more appropriately. Usually if the Kindred is missing off the map, and 957 plays forwards onto you, then maybe you run the risk of having a harder laning experience. But WE, they've made the conscious choice in mid.
To the mid lane, dodges out the ultimate, in comes Condi from the backside. Finds a snare down onto Chieftain, won't look for more than that, but Condi here with the counter gank. Important that he did so. But as you can essentially see that BLG putting pressure onto the mid, WE did bottom, then he looked for the top side. It's going to be a full follow-up into the bottom. Oh, that was 50% of his HP gone from one arrow from Mystic.
Nothing you can do for Jin Zhao. Nothing you can do in this bottom lane once the binding connects. It's a nasty combo between the two of them. Varus Morgana is one of those older combos that you just know is going to be effective. They get themselves the kill 694 on Morgana. If you go back to his set against Invictus Gaming, they lost, but he looked incredible on this pick. He does not miss a binding. With those opportunities, okay, that one doesn't count.
He was out of range, he didn't miss.
It was a pressure binding. Yeah. But with those bindings always connecting, and having a Varus now building lethality in your composition, that just opens the floor up to endless possibilities of damage. And Mystic has the best job in the world if he's sitting next to those bindings.
It's a target range. No, the target's not even moving. Feels good for him. I guess another kill on the bot side. Just completes his Ghost Blade as well. That's a 10-minute Ghost Blade. Real fast down in the bottom side. That was also a dragon going over to WE. We've upset the curse of only having Infernals and Clouds today. We've got ourselves a Mountain Dragon and an Infernal coming up next, of course. But WE with control over the bot side is very nice for them. There's also bot lane tower falling on top of that. Amazing J is actually just defending up his blue buff right here. Should be Chieftain taking this one.
So 10 minutes in, almost 11, it's a good opportunity to come back to what we spoke about during the draft phase, and that is that everything has gone according to both teams' plans. The bottom lane is winning. They were meant to have control in the lane. The top side of BLG is winning through their draft as well. That's exactly where they were meant to have strengths. You look past that, you look beyond as to where they can influence the rest of the map, and ultimately you look towards those mid-game skirmishes, those mid-game fights, and that should be the biggest deciding factor. A Yasuo that's scaled will be a very big deal, and if they get a single team fight advantage for him, just plop him into a side lane and watch him go off.
Yeah, I mean, you were just talking about the fact that BLG wanting to try and unlock these lanes as well. That being said, it seems like WE have beaten them to the punch. You know, Amazing Chase locked in his lane. Jin Zhao comes to the top side, but 957 doesn't have a lane opponent right now. He's just pushing away in the bot side.
He's on a holiday. He's got his hat on.
Yeah.
He's ready to go. Mundo's having a great time.
What's he holding, in fact, you know?
Looks like a ukulele.
Oh.
I mean, it's really hard to tell because he's just APM through the roof currently.
Yeah, unnecessary considering he's farming a minion wave, but yeah, I think it's a ukulele.
People do have high APMs out of habit. I mean, if you watch
true,
FLICKR stream, you'll notice that he presses tab a million times, and people as a viewer don't understand why he's pressing tab, but his eyes will naturally go towards a very specific spot when he presses it briefly. So not always, of course, but...
Didn't he say in an interview, someone said, how do I become better at League? And he said, look at the minimap every 3 seconds. And you're like, every 3 seconds? That's insane. But he actually does look at the minimap constantly, you know?
I mean, you have to.
Yeah, you do.
All those people that complain that a jungler is camping their lane, what you don't know is they might have been spotted through a ward.
Yep.
You have to constantly be looking.
Pretty much. Yeah, just looking at the top side, because there's a chance for someone to just be caught out by a random piece of CC.
It's actually looking like a dive more than anything else.
Yeah, that's true. Mole's here with Road. They're going to come in. That's a good dark binding, but we're opening up the curtain call. We hit one onto 694. He's going to get called out, though. That was unnecessary. Last breath. That goes a kill over to Road. Top tower now broken open. What's the follow through from WE?
694 was the sacrifice, but he still had the flash available, so I like the safety options there from Mole and from BLG. They've made the big play, and they're forcing the turret. By putting 4 people up here, however, WE, they find an opportunity to put 3 in mid. And if they plant their feet down and get this turret, it's still, to me, an upward trade. Just that they'll lose the kill, so they're not going to get it, of course. BLG were able to react in time through specifically their top laner, and we'll see what happens at the top lane. 694 sacrifices himself by using the spell shield on Mystic. Mystic was, of course, engaged at the very beginning. But regardless, that man has to die. Someone's got to die in that top lane after the CC connects.
Yeah, and it was unfortunately the support. Black Shield was good, but ultimately he was just overwhelmed with the amount of spells that were flung his way. It will eventually go down. Condi gets himself another mark. Also another crab on top of that. He's going to be feeling good, and he just broke the universe. So good job, Condi.
75 extra range, 75 extra seconds looking at him. We're back. In top lane again.
We are looking at 694. He's about to get knocked up, taking a bunch of damage. In comes 957, his big brother in the top lane.
Oh, it's a brawl. Look at Sheer.
They're basically just running them back while containing... Oh, where did he go? Now we're outnumbered. Sheer's coming from the bot side of the fight once again, re-flanking the fight. Road cleanses it out of that taunt, goes backwards towards his team. Sheer on the retreat right now as you look towards Connie in the bottom side. Mo jumps into the back line, finds one, looks for the second. He's knocked and knocked down. He's going to be taken out as Jin Zhao now on the attack, being attacked. 957 chases after, looks for the flash. The arrow doesn't connect, but it's the Condi who's on the front lines looking to try and look for more. In the end, it will be a 2-for-1 trade in favor of WE.
Yeah, it's an upward trade here for WE. Condi still had flash and his Lamb's Respite if he wanted to keep his mid laner alive, but for the cause, Shie does go down. WE get the opportunity to press forwards if they please, and they'll go towards the Rift Herald to take a secondary bonus as well on top of winning that team fight. Good little moves there from Team Dewey, namely from Sheer, because it looked funny, but he did the exact thing that he should be doing. This is still going to be contested.
Yeah, this is a little bit awkward. Condi, can we find a smite secure though? Jumps over the wall, no one's in the pit right now. It will go over to BLG. Jin Zhao with the secure on that.
I feel like Condi could have contested that one. I don't know if he miscalculated with his smite or if he just didn't want to take the fight. Either way, we'll see the backside of this fight. She had already used his ultimate. Good little flash to keep him alive, and Condi comes in. Now, Condi, at this point, could 100% have flash Lamb's Respited if he chose, but you take those kills. As now we've got a Rift Herald in the back pocket of Road. He wants to summon it. Mid lane is a possibility. I'm coming back to that point. Condi could have taken that
I know.
He's
a kindred.
I guess he just really didn't want to waste the Summoner spell. But now he loses the Herald for it, so there's a chance he loses a turret.
Yeah. Kind of unnecessary from WE, but again, this is kind of like what we're seeing from the team right now, is the fact that WE, like, we see really good plays from them, we see them set up these top fights, the mid lane fights, all of this, but then something falls through the cracks, right? And right there, that happens to be the Herald. Like, it's not 100% there yet, but we are still seeing a lot of good things. Now they're setting up for this next dragon. It's going to be Infernal. We'll see if they can actually get it for themselves, as BLG are going to be contesting them. Seems like...
Yeah, he got it.
Yeah, he's going to... Yeah, he's going to get this one, no problem. But BLG seems like they're itching for maybe a bit of a fight. At the very least, they're going to get vision to see if they can find themselves a steal.
They also have a Gangplank planted into the side lane in top, so you'll see Amazing J now. No other top laner having teleport. I'd say you're pretty comfortable taking the 4v4 if you're BLG compared to the 5v5 at the moment.
It's like 4.2 versus 4, because you're going to get a Gangplank ultimate down there as well.
Well, exactly. So there are reasons as to why you would be wanting to perhaps look towards a 4v4 more than anything else. I think having a strong Yasuo, strong Sejuani, and Jin's still very relevant, having completed the Stormraiser now. Means that they could consider this, but they have to take the approach of engage now and then ask questions while engaging, opposed to let WE poke you down, whittle your health bars down through the Varus, and then consider it.
I'm also just on the edge of my seat just a little bit, because Condi and Mystic, quite big for themselves, but the instant sucker punch coming in from BLG could be good. Condi backing away, but the curtain call is going to be big here. 957 trying to block up this choke point. Everyone's sitting in the respite, but here comes the teleport in from right. He joins the team. Last shot comes through onto Mystic, but he's still alive. 957, the ultimate gatekeeper right there in that choke point, but here comes Shelly.
Herald's going to be summoned in the middle lane. Now they do find a knock-up, but it's not going to be the kills. They've got wave clear WE, even though they're low in health, but the charge will go off. It's about, will it be a full charge? And the answer is no, so the turret stands. WE missing a lot of health, but still feeling confident enough to press up with 957 in front.
Oh, steady on, lads. BLG looking for a trap right here, but they have low health bars. 957, he's pushed them forward. Sheer right behind as well. They've started off the dragon. Are they a bit mad? I don't know. Amazing J, he's trying to set up these barrels around the corner, but now it's a bit of a stare down.
The dragon's just out for blood. He comes and gives both teams a bit of a love tap on the face and says, leave me alone. BLG say, absolutely not. And they have come back to the objective. Now WE, they've seen this, and they have said, well, you're back, so we're back.
And here we are.
Backstreet's back.
That's how we got here.
All right.
I don't know, I feel like the longer we stay here, it's going to be an engage from BLG with limited engage tools, or they get poked out by all these poke tools coming in from WE, because one is already down, in a two is perfect timing. He flashes away. It's going to be a secure by Kindred. Condi with the secure right there.
Oh, he got him as well on the backside.
The piercing arrow snipe.
Yeah, it goes down to Mystic, and that's the capabilities of a Varus. At WE, they've stayed here for such a long amount of time, but BLG chose to stay themselves. And now this mid lane turret goes down, the dragon's taken away, and a kill into the pockets of Mystic. I mean, WE just get everything that they're after from that trade. It means you have to look at BLG and make you wonder, you know, what were they waiting for? And we said this about 3 minutes ago. If you're BLG, you take the engage, and then you think about the next steps. If you're WE, you poke them down. You hit a binding, you hit a piercing shot, and suddenly you're good to go. That fight transpires because a binding connects, and a piercing shot connects, and would you believe it, WE come out on top.
But it just feels like a matter of time, Rusty. You know what I mean? Like with this comp from WE, if you're in a narrow corridor into two major skill shots, eventually it's gonna hit. You know, it's law of probability, monkeys and typewriters. Eventually something's gonna happen.
I'm not gonna like discredit that for certain, right? Because there's always gonna be a skill shot that connects, but at the same time, you've got wind wall timings, you've got team compositional uses to oppose that fact, right? So at this point, I think that particular binding that hit Gangplank was probably 10 seconds after the wind wall had been used, so that was a full rotation of spells after. And they just catch someone out of position. That's overstepping their bounds. If they commit to the dragon, BLG, then maybe they want to save the wind wall, or they use the wind wall. Once it's gone, you back away a bit more. Play a bit more safely, but at the end of the day, BLG, they lose the objectives. WE get a bit more control on Summoner's Rift, and they're starting to feel really good for themselves, namely Mystic.
For sure. I mean, he's 3-0-3, has double penetration items right now. This guy penetrates. Oh, top lane. Oh, he's going to be clearing out the ward right here. 957 knows there's a ward right there, so he would like to contest it, but there's a Yasuo in the way. And like, he probably could contest the Yasuo if he pops ultimate, but he doesn't want to really pop the ultimate.
Yeah, I just don't think you'll be able to kill the Yasuo either way. You just look at each other and maybe half health one another.
Yeah.
And then that's not a good thing for Mole because there's a teleport from 957 and an ultimate. So
Yeah.
there was a chance he could step up, but it wasn't just the wards, it was the minion wave that he wants to deal with and prioritizes that lane control, which is definitely the correct choice.
Oh, I was like, what's Condi hitting? Because I couldn't see it because it was off screen.
I mean, it's pretty short odds on Road every single time.
Yeah, that's fair.
But yeah, it's definitely Road. Also looking towards the Athene's Unholy Grail, it seems right now, this Rakan. Definitely a decent choice. It increases the healing. We'll see if it becomes a Mikhail's against the Morgana, however.
Ah, true.
Entirely possible.
Actually might be quite nice, to be honest.
Yeah, no, it will be Mikhail's.
Yeah,
I take that back. He's going to rush Mikhail's. Now that leaves you very fragile with less engage. Oh, God.
Oh, he
wow.
dodges it! And he dabs on them.
Okay, Shia needs to change emotes right this second. But that was sick coming out of him with the dodge.
I like it.
That's twice this week we've seen it from Xiao and Xie. Meanwhile, top lane.
Yeah, AJ, he's under attack. He calls for help from his old ship. They shoot down a couple missile barrages, cannon barrages. He will be good for now, but that's an ultimate burnt, and he's sent back to base. Probably
Man,
doesn't want to teleport.
The LPL mid laners have got some clean rises. We have seen some fancy footwork around their ultimates. They are so good at using it.
That's true.
That was the best case scenario from Xie. He just played expertly around a Sejuani and made Chieftain look like a complete fool just because he's that good.
I mean, that's the thing, right? It's like people are saying, meta, the Rise is going to be completely out of the meta now that you can't Zhonya's in your Realm Warp, but it just feels like the LPL always finds a way to adapt if they want to play something. Amazing J walks into the top lane.
Oh, no.
I don't really know what he was expecting. He walks up there after being harassed by Connie 957. 957 still in the top lane, and Connie's like, I'm waiting. I'm still here. And then Amazing J just walks into him and dies.
You can tell which player is the Mundo player between Condi and 957. They want to go and pressure the turret. One of them walks through the lane, the other one uses the blast cone to safety instead. Whereas mid lane, the pressure is continuing. They've finally grouped up a bit more here, WE, around their AD carry. But it's more of a reactionary measure to BLG doing the same thing. They've started to group themselves. They're looking to pressure because they are really starting to feel it on the back foot.
Yeah, Mundo's just having a grand old time in the top lane. Wishing that he could take Demolish.
I reckon that's a full Warmogs that he's about to buy.
Yeah, I think so. Well, he's got the components, so he's good. Yeah. It'll probably be Warmogs and something, I reckon.
Maybe just control words. I'll say 2.
Yeah. Hey. Cast a prediction. Insane.
I mean, pro players, so it's solid you'll get a Warmogs, you know?
Yeah.
In a competitive game, you'll get a Warmogs and a control ward.
Yeah.
But because it's 957, you've got to give him extra credit. But that was nothing to do with money. That was definitely just knowing the player.
For sure. He's going to be slowly pushing in the top side. There's going to be a day where you can actually, as a tank, this is just like a pet peeve of mine because, like, I play top lane, I play some tanks sometimes, but you can't go Demolish because everything else is too good. AJ, caught in the bot side again, here comes the round walk, 3 people on top of him, doesn't even get a chance. He's caught in round prison, he's dead.
Yeah, I mean, 694 didn't necessarily need to use the ultimate there, but he did, just to secure it, no matter what. Rise comes in, very good little follow-up kill. Now, I think Amazing J did have his flash up during that, but that's just pure acknowledgement that I am absolutely roasted. Yep. There is no point in me trying to flash away. They would chase me down regardless. So that's why I still like the Soul Shackles being used by 694. Security reasons.
For sure, for sure.
And it opens up the dragon. So Xie is able to actually threaten this turret, doing a surprising amount of damage because he's gone for the Spellbinder to turrets. And Condi will get himself a free mountain dragon.
There's auto attacks. Always surprised me because Rise's auto attacks I feel like the weakest out of like Sony of the mid laners. I think maybe the next one's like Vladimir because he just like shoots up as like a spurt of blood and it's just meant to hurt Vlad and it hits the tower for like half its health and you're okay.
So amusingly, the ones that feel like they do the least amount of damage are the ones that like have always had really slow attack animation. Yeah, so there's Anivia, Annie, and Vladimir as a 3 that you look at and you're like, man, they do no damage. But also impossible to last hit with because they travel so slow.
But they are really, because they had such long attack ranges as well, that was the other thing.
Yeah.
That's why I started playing AD carry Soraka for a while, because you can, because the bananas move so slowly, you can stack them up on the target. So you can have 3 bananas in the air, someone all-ins on you, then get hit by 4 bananas at the same time, and then you just pop.
Do not miss the old team book. Will of the Ancients.
Oh, that's a
item.
bit of a throwback.
Well, you mentioned Soraka. I used
Yeah.
to play mid lane Soraka with Frozen Heart, Will of the Ancients.
Oh, yeah, yeah. That was great on... That was like a Vladimir item.
Was it Skara that started that one?
I don't know, actually. When did Will of the Ancients leave? That I actually can't pinpoint when we lost Will of the Ancients. So I know when like we lost Heart of Gold and like Pillowstone, but I don't remember when we lost Will of the Ancients.
Force of nature, rest in peace.
Oh, so many memories. BLG setting up around the Baron right now. They just took away all of those wards, in fact. And WE just kind of watched them do it.
Yeah, they 1-3-1-ing. They've got Ryze in the bottom lane with teleport this time, so they've got the capabilities of the split push, and with a Varus sitting in mid lane, whilst he runs the risk of being caught, there's a spell shield, he's got summoners, and he's got wave clear from very long range with those piercing arrows.
Ooh.
Yeah, he didn't have a Morgana this time, so he actually wastes his flash, unfortunately.
Yeah.
That's just a big mistake from WE, and of course now they still get a turret, they'll still trade in the end. Doesn't feel good.
Shit.
Wonder if he'll ward and burst
tracking
him.
his prey. Oh, no, he's going to just take out the wave, that's fine. But Amazing Joe's here to meet him. He has his teleport, as Sheer. Probably not going to kill each other, but both need to be down there because of the Baron play that's being set up.
It does mean that the map will ebb and flow in strength in terms of priority. You know, BLG, they saw that window to go in the middle lane, but that's during a time where WE is setting up the side wave minions. So during that time, BLG look for the engagers, and they'll get a turret from it. But once the waves bounce and once they crash onto turrets in favor of WE, BLG are on the back foot. Now they're dealing with 2 teleports that could go to the Baron immediately. So the map will continue to ebb and flow back and forth with no real advantages to grow until someone makes that power play. But it feels like the ball is in WE's court in that regard, because if nothing's happening, they're threatening 3 lanes at once.
Yeah, 100%. Condi now pushing forward for 694 and 957. Got a lot of numbers with him. Taking out the wards as well, and BLG pretty much just setting themselves up in a position where they can possibly contest a Baron now that W have completely controlled the area. Shears in from the bottom side, and looks like they're gunning towards a fight right now. If they can find a binding, a room prison, and anything onto BLG, they will go for this one, but it's actually BLG who are going to force this one first. They found a lockdown, but it's an instant response from Lamb's Respect. We're going to take a timeout. Everyone heals up, and we're looking for the re-engage. 957 pushing forwards onto Road. Finds a cleaver onto AJ, but he's going to be shaking that one off. Ooh, arrow onto Jin Zhao.
Oh, well,
everybody's out. He was underneath the curtain call, but there's nothing to shoot at. The toilets ran away.
The Baron's secured very quick.
They burnt it. BLG, they're clawing at scrap. You can't do that, Shie. Stop doing that. And now they recall back to base. BLG caught their pants down.
They just got beaten to the punch, and they just got bested so hard in a macro sense. Once again, Shie, these rises in the LPL hitting these ultimates are immaculate. And they find themselves a Baron. They just do it so quickly with their composition as well. They're able to lock that one down. And the best part is, BLG thought they had an opportunity. The curtain call was opened. The Jin presses his R button. Yep. He's like, this is my moment. I am going to kill. Where did they go? And then the Baron was gone.
It's like a cartoon. You know? It's like watching Tom and Jerry. He's just like, I've got him. Where is he? He's on Baron.
It was all a ruse.
Yeah, and then we just lost the game. What? What's that?
SKT Jin recalling.
Oh.
Thank you, Bang.
Shut up, Jin. Oh, shit, he's waiting. What is he waiting for? Well, there we go. Oh, I want to see the setup stat. Oh, well.
That's still very quick from
quick.
WE as well. The reactions, the teamwork, something that WE have always had for themselves is cohesion as a 5-man unit. So this was on the back end of a fight. Of course, even the fans celebrating in unison after that one. It was a big macro victory for them as Cheer. He's a
man on the run.
Oh, that man is dead.
He flashed away. Oh. It brings up
knows.
the penguin. Yeah,
he knows
he's super screwed. He's lasted for a long time though, but the rest of the team's ending the game, so I guess it's okay.
Yeah, I mean that's why he puts the emotes up. She knows exactly what's happening. Like he could teleport to the team if they don't go to him.
Yeah.
So BLG they play a very down-tempo style of decision, but they still kill Xie, which slows WE's advances. Losing one inhibitor is not going to end the game. It's one of those decisions where you don't see that very often in the League of Legends world, but in the LPL, you'll get decisions like that sometimes.
Yeah. And they made the decision, and by Jove, they got him, Rusty.
It's not about losing gracefully all the time here in the LPL.
It's about sending a message.
Losing with explosions.
The Torg mentality, if you will.
We love explosions.
He absolutely loves them. And so does Amazing J. He's actually 2 items. He's going towards his Hysterics Gauge. He's getting there.
Here, the best part is that they just attacked the 0-2 Rise, who is pretty much just the ult bot currently. He'll be doing a lot of damage, rather significant amounts to carries on the team, of course, because he's been farming incredibly well. But the rest of WE haven't really died.
Nah, not really. I mean...
It's only 1 on 694.
Yeah, it's totally true. I mean, the Martyr has basically been... yeah, he's been like the driver. If you're looking at WE as like a heist squad, he's the driver. Who's the brains? I reckon it's probably like...
Condi's the brains.
Condi's the brains.
Condi's the brains.
Who's the hacker?
Oh, now we're getting a bit too complex.
Who's the muscle? I think the muscle is probably 957. That's an easy one.
I don't think they have a hacker. I think they have a shotgun.
Who's the
shotgun? Can hack anything.
You're not wrong.
Be Mystic.
Mystic's the shotgun, okay. WE, they're looking to hack down this bottom lane tower. Oh, they've managed to find the Yasuo, bring up the wind wall. Sejuani's thinking about an engage, but 957 was
just
way
gone. The turret's
ahead
just
of
gone.
him.
There's nothing stopping a Varus and a Kindred from hitting that turret if someone's not going to step up. And I don't know how many times we can really mention this. BLG's one hope is an engage, and it's a very fast engage at that. They've got a Sejuani, they've got a Rakan, and they've got a Rakan Yasuo combo. So if they hit the mark, WE just lose the fight immediately. But it is so hard to do when 957 now can stand in front of you, and Condi can stand behind you with the Lamb's Respite to keep you alive. And this is where WE's draft has just truly come online in a 4v4 sense, and BLG are really hard pressed for options whatsoever.
I mean, the heist is going well. They've cracked open the safe. They've broken the first lock, actually. Security's found them. They're going to throw out the ultimate in the curtain core as well. They found them on the CCTV, but they're fighting back. Here comes the muscle. 957 says, get off my teammates. And I think we've just run away.
Formation, everyone.
All right, line up and push towards them. Top lane is not going so well for Sheer, but the rest of WE is still pushing into the base. The back line is very low, though. 957 still blocking them, and Condi will have to back away. Jin Zhao's dealing a lot of damage. That was a big crit shot.
That was a big
crit shot. But he just returned fire. There's the shotgun coming through. He's got more of a sniper rifle, to be honest.
They're doing a lot of damage, W, but of course GA once again has died, so they'll have to call it quits. However, you take 2 inhibs in a Baron push, and you would define that one as a major victory. Remember that W have got 2 Infernal Dragons, they have got 2 Mountain Dragons on top of all of that, and there is an Elder that is going to be next for them, so that is just going to be a W running rampant on the Rift. Now Varus even going towards a Death's Dance as his 4th item for a bit of extra survivability and sustain through dealing damage with your arrows. I really like that choice. Shit, we get to see how he dies. Now, it's just going to be another stack up of the ult. That's very easy there from Mole, and very well executed from him actually, because he is super low.
Oh.
Yeah, okay, he dodges 2 Qs. Mole just plays him so hard. Oh, that just gets me going. That's real good.
That was sick.
Mole is not a pushover. He has never been a pushover in this league, and he's showing right there that he's still got the capabilities to outplay anyone.
Give him the MVP. I don't even care who wins this game. Give him man of the match. Oh, it's fantastic. 3-1 and 2 in this mid lane. He's trying his damnedest to make this game happen for BLG.
I mean, he's got 3 items on the Yasuo.
Yeah, I know.
He doesn't have the Guardian Angel or anything just yet, but with a Steraks and a Phantom Dancer, you're usually very good at dueling. And until that GA is done, his team fighting is going to be delicate. Especially with no summoners, because he just used them to take Xie, who has Flash.
But unfortunately, WE, they don't have to play fast. They can play slow as well. They can push in the waves. They can secure the Baron vision. They can trap jungle. They can go towards the Baron.
Well, this is very obvious from them as well. If you're going to play the perfect game of League of Legends, then you set up your vision in topside, you bring BLG to you, and you confine them in the base. You don't give them opportunities to engage, but WE, they're not going to bother doing this because BLG are going so hard on flanks that they're able to just press up, take the turret.
Now they are 4 right here. Roda's looking for the opportunity to jump over the wall, maybe find a last chance fight. Streeton turns around and has to ult out of necessity, but into the backline we get a great ultimate coming out of Rakan, but it's the, again, Lamb's Respite, which saves everybody. 957 will pay for it though. The Mundo's down. If they have any chase after, it's going to be the curtain call. 1 lands. 1, 2, 3. Looking for 4. Dodge it out of the way. They're out of range of this one, but Jin Zhao still finds multiple kills off the backside.
There's a minion wave so for just a second. I thought that Mole may continue the chase, but they'll lose the middle inhibitor during all of this time. Remember that Xie chose not to join the ranks of the rest of his team. Baron defense is the last remaining bastion here. If BLG secure the Baron, they're still in the game.
There's a chance right here. I mean, Amazing Jay clearing out this mini-wave. He can do this by himself. He's a critty gangplank at this stage in the game.
Here
They
go,
have to go for it. It's got to be a Hail Mary. There's no jungler, no Condi. 20 seconds on him. Mystic and 694 low, but Mystic does a lot of damage. He's raining down hell on top of Cheaton right now. The Baron's down to 10k, and he's still chucking out the tank right here. Returning fire is Jin Zhao, and Xie is turned up to the play. Everyone's grouped up for him. He flashes out of the way. Dodges this one once more. Looking for more arrows coming from Mystic. Here comes the teleport in from 957.
Oh, Amazing Jay.
It's going to be a kill from AJ. He drops him with the parlay, and that's Baron over to BLG. Xie looks to get out. He escapes with the round warp.
They're going to get out okay at the end. WE just losing one casualty, and it will be 6-9-4. They overstay their welcome. They try too hard to push in the top lane. I'm getting some flashbacks to 2016 Pulse, because BLG, they'll take the fight on that front. They'll make the play of Baron straight after. You see a keg hit here from Amazing Jay, hitting all three of them in the back line. So the Kindred ultimate, whilst it keeps them alive, it doesn't keep them in the fight. And this should have been probably more kills, honestly, from the Jhin, but that second shot missing keeps them in it.
At the very least, could have been an extra kill, and that would have made it more streamlined going to the Baron. But remember, BLG still took the Baron. We're 8-8 in kills, and not just a couple seconds ago we were saying WE, they're about to close out the game. Now there is a 3,000 gold difference between the two teams. Yes, yeah. WE have all these dragons, but BLG have another shot.
And they've got 4 items on their carries. They have got a very big Yasuo running around at the moment with their Guardian Angel done. The Gangplank as well having 4. So they are online as a team fight goes. Jin Zhao's the only one that's lagging a little bit behind in items, but he's got his core 3. So now BLG, they're in a position to actually win a team fight and literally just win the game in one moment. WE, you've really started to feel this from them though. They're not looking for the team fight. They're looking to play around their opponents. And Xie, this is an early teleport because they want to contest this one. If they steal it, it's massive.
It's down to half right now. It would be huge, amplifying all those dragons so far. Over the wall, can they get it? It's secured by Chieftain. BLG looking for the fight right now. They lock up the front line and move into the back line. One's already dead. Looking for a second. Lining up the kill shot. Moving on to the fourth. Lands the tag. Xie on the backside. And BLG look to chase them down. Connie about to fall. He's locked up. Down into the Guardian Angel. Give him the 10 count. But I don't think he's coming back up. He's dead. Amazing Jay gets a parlay. 4 kills and the Baron. BLG looking for a win.
They're going to have to try and kill Xie as best they can. The Baron buff's going to subside in 1 minute, so they're going to go top wave. They might find him on the escape as well. They're going to have to play around vision very well to find him, and I don't think they can. So the Rise lives, and that's probably just going to be saving the game amount of success there from WE. That's the best they could ask for. Top lane inhib definitely looking like it's going to fall.
At the very least, there should be an inhib right here. We've got another 20 seconds on the carries, but BLG find a secure and find a follow-up team fight.
Yeah, and Condi's just separated from the rest of his team, so the Jhin ultimate takes down 2 people very strongly there where the Lamb's Respite's not available, and might be wishing he had it at this moment after the fact. End of the day, Condi's just going to die, and BLG, we've seen what they're capable of in these team fights. We know their composition is well and truly online. Now, sadly for them, they didn't get the inhib in the top lane. They did get the Elder Dragon, but the Baron's about to subside and they had no dragons in the kitty. So they're not going to have any real buffs for the next fight as it breaks out, but what they will have is momentum. They'll have a composition that can team fight late game as well. And they'll have a lot of confidence coming into the next one.
And the thing is, Rusty, they're still alive. And that is like by itself a miracle.
He has no teleport. Xie's on a side lane without a TP by himself, and there's 10 seconds on a Baron, so at least another turret drops here.
They must be really confident that they'll be able to defend this inhibitor tower, but now Xie's coming back to base. This could be a massive blunder. They might actually just crack open the inhibitor, and if BLG engage onto that backline, they're just going to straight up die.
I mean, the tower's definitely gone. It's about what else afterwards, because Baron is now falling off. Elder Dragon is definitely about to as well. WE should be able to... Oh, hang on.
Oh, this is a soft engage, but it's opening up the curtain core as well. That front line's about to disintegrate. They might take down the Mundo. Mystic going to be caught on the backside, takes the 4th shot.
I mean, they just step up too far. 957 overreaches, and now the inhib is gone for free. They don't have sideways set up, BLG. They are just running it down the middle lane as they are necessitated in doing. Of course, they're able to just push back and recall for free this time. They're feeling really good for themselves. They are so far into the driver's seat.
What is going wrong, Rusty? WE, they send it right to the bottom lane. He recalls late. They look for the defense, then are misaligned on pushing them back out of the base. Seems like they were just doing it because of going through the motions. And BLG are punishing them from fight to fight, to objective. WE were literally on their nexus not 5 minutes ago.
It does feel like ultimately they have scaled on their opponents, but that feels like it's really hard to say. Like, when you actually think about that, consider that there is a Kindred with an Infinity Edge rapid fire cannon build. There is a Rise with 6 items almost done as well. And Varus has got a majority of his, so they're doing a lot of damage, WE. But their composition doesn't have that Rakan to go forward. You know, it doesn't have the threat of the 5v5 where they're able to hit the wombos here, BLG. So I feel like WE, they feel hard pressed to avoid the 5v5s, and they're making missteps in communication around doing so.
I think it's a major missteps. That's like 5 waves that just went over to Mole as well. He's looking towards his final item, has the GA.
Those waves should continue to crash balls.
Yeah.
That's the thing. Like, top lane and bottom lane should constantly have minions pushing towards BLG. That's because Amundo and Arise have just perpetually existed in those areas on the map. You look past that, it's the grouping in the middle lane. And this is something that has been happening since, I don't know, 25 odd minutes in the game. Things like Mystic having to flash away from a Sejuani ultimate because he doesn't have a team near him, and he still chooses to defend. 957 in this case dying because he steps up to try and defend the turret, maybe thinking he'll survive because he has a stone plate in his ultimate, but he's just CC locked into oblivion and dies. These things are just missteps.
Yeah, I mean, the tides have definitely turned in this game, as everybody can see right now. But BLG, they're in the driver's seat for the first time in this entire series. They're ahead in terms of gold, maybe not in terms of towers yet, but we're looking towards these objective fights. You look at the Baron, you look at the Elder. The second Baron's going to be big for them if they can get it. On top of the Elder, like, there's more of a, we have to deny this from WE, because if that's an Elder on top of quad dragons, like, it's going to be almost impossible. So they are somehow both staying alive in this game and be on the precipice of actually winning the entire game itself.
Yeah, Mystic's build really feels like it has been outscaled here by their opponents, and that to me is the biggest differentiator, where Jin Zhao has just truly come alive. Mystic has dropped off in his damage output. You can see he's not even really doing all that much to someone like Road, who just has the Knight's Vow. BLG now, they've got control of the area. Baron up in 10 seconds. No Elder for a little while. So they're confident in playing around this area, setting up their vision, and their composition is so good at engaging, and that's what they're looking for.
And speaking of, here comes Road. He finds Mystic. He flashes away back towards his team, but he finds the Taunt onto 4 right here. 6957. 6957 pops the ultimate. Everybody's inside of the Kindred ultimate, but we're still fighting. Knock him onto 3 right there. AJ gets another kill. They are pushing WE back into their own base right here. They find the knockdown. Sheer into the backside, looks for the assassinate, but Jin Zhao's read it. The rest of the team is here. They are too good at team fighting. And finally, here comes the curtain call. We skirt out of it with WE, but 957 and Konzi ready to defend.
It's a 4v2. There are still no more super minions rather from the looks of it. There is one actually coming in. They're standing on top of it. BLG, they're going to try and go for the end here. I don't think 957 can defend this, and I don't think Kondi can either.
Oh, he's knocked up. He took a lot of damage from that final breath, and he's just knocked down. Jin Zhao finds the big crit shot onto him, and Froms get thrown up in the air. BLG will turn the tide, and it will take game 2 in Xi'an.
Superior team fighting when it comes to the punch here from BLG. They look better than their opponents in the later stages of the game, and that's what we say when BLG plays against WE. We go to late game pretty much 100% of the time, and it's about who can execute better. In this case, BLG above and beyond their opponents.
I mean, we were just talking about the fact that they apparently are just the comeback kids, and they've just gone back to that old mantra, that old storyline, the old way that they managed to win games. I mean, they did it right here against WE, but I mean, it wasn't pretty, but it was hype. you could say that about BLG.
This has always been a style matchup that seems to favor BLG, regardless of the stakes or regardless of the strength of these teams. When the styles collide, BLG tends to come out on top. And this is another example of exactly that happening, where WE, they had the lead, they had the early game, they transitioned it to the mid game, and they were looking really solid. But then that solidity was just completely removed, just evaporated by BLG being able to team fight as a 5v5. And they drafted for it, they played for it. The unsung hero to me is Amazing J in team fights once again. he comes in and was super clutch. The kegs were hitting multiple members, and I'm sure we'll see it in that last team fight again.
I mean, look at that swing. That is what? For 15,000 gold a swing in the end coming out from BLG and W. They're still fighting.
Apparently,
Yeah,
so.
they're still going at it. The game's ended. You can stop now and get ready for the third game. But 1-1 brought us all the way until the end. And I mean, this is going to be a little bit heartbreaking as well if you're a WE fan, especially in the Xi'an venue, because this is like right there, looking at the sweep, ready to finish the game and take out the Nexus, and then BLG bring it back, and then now at the point where WE might not even find their third win of this split alone.
And still, when those styles collide, you'll see strengths and weaknesses behind that. That's the biggest thing that you have to take away from this. WE still not being at their former glory. Of course, those weaknesses are things that can be exploited, where before they were very good at covering those up. But there were still strengths from WE, namely from Condi ganking bottom lane at level 3. That was unexpected. You know, the composition playing towards bottom lane is a strength. He played towards his strong lane. They got a successful gank off. That was a pleasure to watch from Team WE. And that mid-game transition looked sick. Xie individually looked very good in escaping ganks, but he was never there when a fight happened. So there's always these contrasts to everything. Where I think BLG, they were very good at forcing engages, and they had so many engaged tools that they could. But W also just saying one more wave, just one more wave, and that was always, you know, a little bit too much where they were caught out in the first place.
And that's almost the Mystic mentality, right? Like, we used to talk about Mystic overextending for waves all the time, but it felt like that as a team. I will say there were really good things, as you were just mentioning, from WE. Like, I think back to that Realm Warp from mid lane to Baron, then burning it. Like, that's a sick maneuver.
I thought that was like game winning.
Yeah, exactly. I thought they were just going to win it right there. They move over to the Baron, they burn it, they run away with no casualties. I'm like, this WE have just baited and outsmarted them.
And this Baron does break open the base of BLG. So, I mean, realistically, when you see this, you look at the game state and you're like, that's it. WE looked like the better team in the first game. Now they've got a lead. They've got the Baron as well as the snowball starting to happen. With the 1-3-1, there's no counterplay. But immediately as that happens, you know, WE, they reset, they get the Baron, they're like, let's 1-3-1. Let's assign ourselves into these situations, and the 3 crumbles every single time. And it's not to discredit the 3, because the opposing 5 that's going to run at them has so much distance they can cover with the engages, and if they have no pressure, well, then the 1s die.
Sure.
So there was still things that WE had to do. But even then, you know, like not having a cleanse, not having a QSS, being caught out of position for a little while. Of course, the QSS was there eventually. The spell shield's always being very late when the engage was very obvious when it's going to happen. If Rakan presses Shirelia's, put the shield on. Things like that could make it a lot easier for WE, but they still had the right ideas.
That was it, right? It was really down to those team fights in the end coming out from them and the execution within them, but it's just like at the point where you're going down to execution on fights versus having a lead in the early part of the game against a team like BLG, it's just like you're really trying to beat BLG at a 5v5 team fight. Like, it should never really get to that point, really, if you're looking towards WE, because they had it. They had it literally in their hands. Like, they were like at the Nexus, inside the base, ready to finish, and then BLG just win fight after fight after fight. And, you know, at that point, you know something's wrong. And, like, I'm like, Xie, where are you? Why are you in bot side while they're sieging the mid lane? Why are you not with the team when they just got beaten top lane? Like, where is it coming? Because it almost felt like W were like, we've already won the game, we can do whatever we want. You know, Xie can just push in the bottom side, take the in-hit by himself, finish the game, and do the same thing he was doing in the first game. It always felt like we'd already won.
I wonder if that's actually how the players themselves felt, because I was getting a kind of like a different feeling from that. The way that I was interpreting WE's playstyle was that we can't fight, so we have to avoid it at all costs. And they tried too hard to avoid the fights, opposed to, you know, taking tactical ones or taking tactical moments, because they never grouped, they never threatened the 5v5. I don't think we actually saw 5 of them in the same position once, besides that Baron take. And even in teamfight executions, they were actually a little bit off at moments where BLG exploited them. So maybe they're, you know, there's a lack of confidence in their team fighting, and they drafted to 1-3-1 to avoid that completely. You know, the LeBlanc was still a very viable way of doing that in the first game, but could still team fight, whereas the Rise, this combo mage didn't get setup opportunities at all, because this time there was tanks standing in front of it. I think, you know, ultimately WE may have just felt a little bit too afraid to take it, and they were actually too afraid to do it.
Maybe. I mean, it's difficult to say without being in comms, right? Because, like, again, in terms of their positioning, there was a 4-man push on top side, and seeing Rakan on their flank, they were like, we're going to push into the base, 4 into 5, and then wait for Xie to come into the bottom side. So you could say that's a macro play by positioning with R4 and then having him take objectives, or you could say that's them jockeying for a fight and then waiting for Xie to flank, right? Like, it's one or the other. The latter didn't happen in that one for certain, so you could say it's the former, but again, difficult to say. It was back-to-back problems. I mean, that was like 4 1-fights in a row. You know, when we're in those situations and we're like, what does it take for this team to come back? And you're like, well, they're literally going to have to win 4 fights back-to-back. And that's what BLG did.
You'll see in this last fight as well, once again, the keg hits 694 and at Mystic. Mystic had a very bad game once it hit 40 minutes, or even 35 minutes onwards, and then of course the combos are there. When a Kindred presses her ultimate in this 5v5 scenario, then you find yourself like opening the doors for Mole to get entry, and Shie, big misexecution on the back end there, does die. I mean, it doesn't matter too much in the end. His team was already losing the fight, but I have a feeling that a 3-man could have held the base, where the 2-man, no chance.
I mean, he saw the opportunity, right? He was like, I can kill Jin Zhao. If I kill the AD carry and maybe get one more with me, then there's no way they can finish. So it's him trying to make a hero play at the end there. And to be fair, I saw it, but it was read by Jin and Jin Zhao, right? Like, he saw it. He was already running away as the Ryze was coming towards him. And then the team just flanked and killed the Ryze.
But a 6-item Ryze can probably kill the closest target, not the priority target. And sometimes you kill the priority target as a byproduct because your spells bounce everywhere. So like, I do think that like in a minion wave with 3 other champions alive, you could have still played it front to back. I think that was trying too hard to make the heroic thing, almost like an acknowledgement that the game was over and I want to save the game state instead.
Yeah, and you know, back when I was saying I don't care who wins, but the MVP should go to Mole. Well, you know what? The MVP is going to Mole, so congratulations. That sick outplay onto Sheer was, I mean, really was solid for me. But Mole was just fantastic all the way through this game.
That was one of the best 1v1s you will see with just the mechanics on a Yasuo. You know, you don't often get to see Yasuo take sick duels, but Mole's put his name up there with the best of them.
Put it on the
LPL
Penta.
duelists
That's what I'm
that we
talking
have seen. Yeah, try and get on the Penta. I mean, give it a go. We've had a pretty rough run with that the past couple of weeks.
Yeah, I know. I feel like we've had such good plays, and